we are live. I'm not supposed to... Because I get the comments so much later than you, I don't even really need them, right? You can just read them to me. I do not know. Just text me the link whenever so I can put it in the Discord. The live. Oh. I just have to play my own music in my head. Oh, I can kind of hear it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's only like 6 seconds flag now.
Nice, Matthew. That's so...
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, okay. Put down the chips. Right, someone's in the house.
Who are you? Turtleneck Pro, hello.
Turtleneck Pro! Oh, he's awesome. He's a streamer.
Remember, if someone asks you a question, I say, like, kind of restate the question so people know who you're referring to.
That's a good call.
This song's a bop.
This song's a pop. Dang, I wish I could hear it. I think these will be cool because I am getting messages from people every single day about getting iPads for Christmas to learn Procreate. So I think
Lisa's
these...
in the house. Hello.
Lisa's in the house! Yeah, this is a much better time, I think, for the group. I like it.
It's Lisa / Brindy using my personal married name account.
Yeah. Oh, I should put it on Twitter too. The Twitter!
It's definitely cool that you have live chat.
Can you guys hear, I'm curious, can you hear chewing right now? If you can, put it in the chat. I want to know. Oh, I can see them. Oh, very cool. Me in the gym watching Cindy right now. I love the dedication, Cade. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, this is way better. Thanks, Lisa. How long do you think I should wait for getting into this? What's that?
Maybe just start explaining and then you start going.
Oh, you're good. They can't hear the chewing.
Yes.
you're in it. Wait, sorry, what'd you say?
Explain what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so I think these types of landscapes are perfect for beginners drawing because they're so easy once you get the hang of them, and it's one of those things that you can like not copy but look at a bunch of stuff and you'll get the hang of it really quick to then kind of invent your own landscapes. So something I want to talk about, I learned how to do art taking fine art painting classes, and we always used references, and that's how we learned everything. So I just first want to talk about how helpful references are. So I got a couple of these pictures of landscape photography. So for doing the type of drawing that we're doing, we want really simple like simple big blocky shapes. So when I was looking for references, like this one right here is a good one. This like looks like, you know, what we're gonna draw. Ones like these with just nice simple shapes. And the reason why finding references is really nice is because we think as humans that we remember what everything looks like, but then when we go to actually draw like hills, trees, mountains, the shapes that we remember in our head are not actually what they look like, and a lot of times we make them too perfect because we're used to seeing, I don't know, we just like have that image of like a perfect, you know, peak mountain. So using references is really nice to just look at all these like random shapes right here. Like it's hard to just think of that on your own, especially if you're not used to, you know, drawing landscapes. So it's really, really helpful to use a reference. So to find these, I just typed in like mountain landscapes, and like desert ones work good too. Like this one right here is a really good one. So yeah, that's super helpful. And the next thing I want to talk about is colors. So for this right here, honestly, the only two things you have to focus on is finding a good reference for landscape and then colors. So what makes these colors look so pretty is these are analogous colors. So if we're on here and we go to a color wheel real quick, so any of the colors that are next to each other, so let's say we do like this one, let's make it bigger, and this one, and this one, those are all analogous colors, and they like look very nice and pretty together, and we can do it like on any tone. So even here, if we go like here, turn the camera off and on. Hello, testing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 No?
I think you're back.
We're back?
Oh, I am.
Give me a thumbs up if we're back. Well, I guess not a thumbs up, or maybe a thumbs up emoji. Yeah, she's back. There we go. Nice. Okay. Should we get drawn? That was weird. I wonder why that happened. Okay, fast forward. I picked my colors. Yay! So for these ones, I think it's a lot easier to start in the front and then work your way back. So that's what we're gonna do.
You should keep talking loud.
And if you're new to Procreate, the best thing about Procreate is you can do everything in individual layers. So each part of the landscape you can do in a separate layer. So if you want to change anything to it, you can just work with that one part without having to mess up your entire workflow. So I'll kind of show you how that works. So for the first layer, we're going to start with the closest thing. I'm looking over here at my reference, by the way. Okay, so now we have our first one, and we're going to go to a new layer. Like this. And then I'm going to work my way up. I have my colors right here. And as I go farther towards the back of the landscape, I'm just going to go lighter and lighter and lighter. And that's why that atmospheric perspective, that's what kind of makes it look, gives it that natural depth. And what's cool too about doing these types of landscapes is you can make it like I'm doing, a whole color scheme and a whole mood and vibe, and then you can go back and completely change the colors. So the one I'm doing is really warm and, you know, like inviting, and then you can completely change it to like blues and purples and make it super like cool and dreamy. So you can draw one thing and then make so many different versions of it, which is really cool. Like that's something you definitely can't do with normal painting. This is funny, you guys can't see, Matt has a whole salsa station set up right now. He's grubbing. And so with these landscapes, it's really nice to choose super simple photos to kind of use as references, and think of everything just as giant blocks. It's like one of those things when you're actually drawing it, like this doesn't look like it would be anything at all, but you can really draw like the simplest things and it all comes together beautifully at the end. Okay, so what I'm doing is going to have this cute little river. Let's draw that. I kind of want an earbud. I want to listen to the tunes. I'm jealous.
Slow flow. I think that's Griffin.
Slow flow in the house.
Slow munchin'.
See, like this is where layers come in handy. I want to erase the river so I don't have to erase anything on there. It's like magic. It's like magic. Alrighty. So the beginning is really simple. It's basically just filling in these blocks like this. Where it's going to get cool is adding all the little shading elements. Also, another tip, if I'm doing multiple layers and I'm working behind certain things and I want to see like what's happening. Tony, what's up, Tony? I turn down the transparency of my layers so then I can, like, what am I trying to say? Like, I can see underneath them, even if that's not where the, like, what's gonna show. Just to know, like, you know, that you're filling stuff in correctly. She's coming together. Fun.
I need all the Procreate tips.
All the Procreate tips. Yeah, layers will be your best friend. What's really cool is you can just draw so many different like variations of the same thing, and then you can just toggle between them to like see what looks best. So it's Procreate, it's like the easiest way to be an artist. It's so cool. There's like all these little handicap tips, which is nice. So like, see here, I want to look behind it, but I can't actually see what I'm doing, so I just turn down the opacity of these layers so then I can like kind of see through what's happening. That makes sense. Because when I slide to drag a color to fill it in all the way, it has to be in a closed space. So like right here, I want all this filled in, but if I just drew that line and dragged this, it would fill the whole screen in because it's not a circular thing. So that's why I turn the opacity down so I can kind of see what I'm doing, and I can have, you know, fill it in like that. Wow, she's coming together. What's up? Oh, I'm looking at my reference, so I can't.
When you slide up the layers and change the order, is it just changing which ones are on top and under?
Yeah, exactly. So if we look like, okay, so see this red right here? That's at the very top, which means it's at the front of the image, and these go back. I couldn't figure out that word. So if I put this all the way back here, that goes over it. So yeah, that's exactly how that works.
Katie asked, how do you get the bubbles on the side to pull from?
So these, I picked these colors before starting this just to speed it up. So I just find colors that I like, and then I just like put a dot there so I can pull them as I go. So like right here, I just have it as its own layer. And I did that just for, you know, what do you call it? To like be quick for this. But what's cool too, which I didn't know, is you can put colors you want in a palette. So if you go to here and you go to palettes, you can make one by clicking this button right here, and you can add colors you want. So I could have, that would have been a better way to do this, is put it in a palette, and then you can take the palette, you can hold it, and oh, maybe you can't. Oh yeah, you can hold it and you drag it, and you can, what the, maybe you can't do that. Okay, I'm blanking. There is a way to have your palette here just sitting on your screen, but clearly it gets complicated, so I just do that. Yeah. Okay, let me go back to my reference. Am I tripping? I thought I just drew this part. That's so weird. It disappeared. Okay. I was like, I swear to God, I drew this just now. Interesting. got some pyramid looking things in the back.
Speak up.
Got some pyramid looking things in the back. Oh. I can't hear how loud it is.
Turtleneck said I'm getting a vintage Colorado vibe right now, and it's awesome.
Hey, I like that. Yeah, these are fun to do with cool retro colors and stuff. That's what's cool. So if you're doing simple graphic stuff like this, then it's cool to do fun colors. Like if it's a simple, you know, in terms of detail, then make it fun in the colors. And again, you can draw this and then pick the colors at the end, which is cool. Another tip. So now I'm gonna add some shadows in this mountain, but I only want to draw on this layer in these mountains right here. So you make a clipping mask by going to the plus up here, and then you say clipping mask. And now that makes it so anything I draw only draws it on this layer, which is super handy. For the Procreate newbies, if you just hold your line, it makes it a straight line, which is, again, so nice. So you always get those crisp edges. It was funny, I was talking to a friend of mine who uses Procreate all the time, and he was writing in his regular notes for school, and he had his title, and then he underlined it, and the line went straight through all the words, and he sent me a picture, and he was like, I'm so used to drawing on Procreate where you can draw anywhere, and the line will just snap and be straight. He was like, that didn't happen. That's pretty cool. So that's kind of the main gist of the landscape. So now I'm just going to go back and make like some more, I don't know, just fix the shape in any way I kind of want for these pieces. Bye Lisa. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Now I got my own music.
She's playing the drums.
We've got some. Someone is literally playing the drums outside of the window. The literal drums. That's funny. Alright, let's do some shading, eh? Okay, so for the background, where are my colors? Oops. Okay, so we're gonna make the background this light tan color. So to fill a whole layer, you click this guy, and then you click fill layer, and whatever color you have selected already, that's what it'll fill. Okay, so I'm gonna add a nice sun. I'm gonna show you the easiest way how to do shading. It's super simple, and you can use it for anything you do. It'll save you so much time. Okay, so we're gonna do sun. It's gonna go behind here. So the sun's gonna be in the very back, so the layer I'm doing is the very bottom one. And then to draw a perfect circle, all you have to do is draw the circle, and then hold it, and then you touch the screen, and it snaps it into a perfect circle, which is awesome. And then you can kind of move it around and see where you want it. That's pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to turn down the opacity a little bit so it's less in your face. And then obviously just like this, it can look cool. We can add a tree in the foreground and it can be cool, but adding just the tiniest bit of shading makes the biggest difference. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer. Oh, just kidding. So that's another thing to mention. When you're working on Procreate, different canvas sizes, so if you're doing something that's like 18 by 24 inches, which is going to be pretty big, or something that's a lot tinier, if you're doing something smaller, you can use way more layers. And if you're doing something big, like this is one of the biggest sizes you can only do like 9 layers or something. So if you're just practicing and you're not making something, you know, for print, use just like the screen size, because you can use so many layers and go back and do all this stuff. I've tried to get in the habit of using bigger file sizes because I started off using small sizes, and then I would make something really cool, and if I wanted it to be bigger, I'd have to redraw it. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of getting in the habit of using these. But what you can do is, once you're happy with your things, which I'm not going to do yet, but you can, or I'll do it for these. So here, I'm happy with how this shading looks. You just pinch it, and then it makes it one layer, so it frees up another layer for you to use. So I'm going to do a new layer, and then I'm going to grab a white. And then I'm gonna draw a circle in the middle of this. Actually, no, I'm gonna use an airbrush to make it a little softer. Okay, like that. And then go to the little wand, go to Gaussian blur, and you can slide your finger and it'll give it a nice glow. See that? Looks pretty good. Yeah. So you can do it again. So I'm going to merge those together if I'm happy with them. Like another thing that kind of make it look cool is grabbing a color like this. Oh, it's a little too much. Doing something at the top like that. Going to blur and blurring that out. See, gives it like a beautiful gradient in the sky, and it just like makes it look so much cooler. This I'm gonna put behind the sun. Or do I want it behind the sun? No, I kind of like it in front of the sun. Like that. So I think what's really cool is a lot of these I see you can just leave it like that, but adding something in the foreground will give it a lot of depth. So I'm gonna add a tree. You can add kind of whatever. And so to add anything in the foreground, trees are obviously the best. If you're doing like mountains, if you're doing deserts, you can do like cacti or something, or even a figure, and just make it the darkest color. That's your first initial color.
Click the like button. What are you doing?
So what are you doing if you're not clicking the like button? Yeah, listen to Cade. Give this video a like. So like trees are one thing that's really nice to have a reference, because we make trees look like, without realizing it, we just like make them look like noodles, because we think that they're all like perfect like this, but trees are really like weird and jaggedy and have the most like just weird jags that you kind of, it's hard to just imagine. So look for references. It's like my biggest thing that I learned taking lots of art classes. So again, so for picking foreground tips, like pick something blocky and kind of simple, because it's going to be, the way we're drawing this, it's like a silhouette, so you're not going to see any, you know, details of it. So something simple. Oh, here's another thing, another tip. So once you kind of work with Procreate a lot and you use all the brushes, you'll start to learn just kind of different things that you like. So one of the really cool things is you can apply stabilization and streamline to your brush. So I always have this on because I'm so shaky with my hand that if I didn't have this on, like what I would be drawing right now would look like this. Okay, look at that line. Look at without it. Like, see? So adding stabilization, sometimes you don't want it. Like sometimes it messes up what you're doing, but a lot of the times, especially doing like the stuff I'm doing right now, it's nice to have, I have it on like pretty high. So I wanted to point that out too. There's a reason why these lines look like they're so easy, because they are. So that's a really nice feature. Thanks, Katie. Alright, we're getting somewhere. So a cool thing that I like to do, so to make this pop a little bit, is getting a color, make a lighter color, like maybe the orange, maybe a little bit lighter than the orange, and then outlining it will give it a little bit of a pop. So I'm going to do this on a new layer. In case I mess up on the outline, I don't have to redraw the tree itself. Another tip I have, which I'm not doing right now, but I'm not like drawing anything too technical or complicated, but a lot of times when I'm drawing and I'm drawing something where I'm like really close and you're moving your hand, at least me, I get very sweaty, your hand sticks and it starts dragging across the iPad and it like messes up your lines. So I like wearing a sweatshirt and I just put the sleeve like where my hand is so it like I can pull my hand across the iPad better. But I have so many lights on me right now, I would be hot if I was in a sweatshirt, but that is a nice tip for you guys at home. They do have fancy like gloves you can get, like digital drawing gloves, which I might get just because, I don't know, just to look super professional. I'm like, because I don't hear music, I'm so inclined to start humming. Franny boy! So Fran, on the next one, are you gonna DJ or what? My friend Francis DJs and I want him to DJ while I paint. So I'm prepping for a painting I'm gonna do, like an actual painting, like, you know, acrylic, like physical. And I'm gonna paint this big canvas. And I think that'll be fun to do drawing live streams just because it's, you know, it's just like a different medium. It's like the medium I started with and I haven't painted in so long. And I got really inspired. I'm doing this like creativity course that's supposed to unblock all your creative blockages, and it actually is working. What?
He said, turn the frick up.
Me?
Oh wait, no, maybe he meant just get poppin'. Never mind. Thought he meant like turn up his voice.
Oh, he just meant to DJ. What was I saying?
Talking about the piece. Your piece.
Oh. Yeah, I don't remember what I was gonna say. I'm just excited. Yeah. I want Francis to like DJ while I'm painting, and I think that'll be a fun live stream too. I'm excited. I haven't painted in a long time, and I tried to paint the other day on just like a little small thing, but I love when I'm actually painting. I like painting big pieces because I like being able to do really like large expressive brush strokes and not just like this, which that's what digital drawing is. It's like tiny little things like this. So I'm excited to do something that I can just you know, move my body a lot when I'm actually creating it is fun. I think Lisa left Cade. I think she politely said goodbye, which was really sweet. I love it, guys. You guys can hear fun music. I can just hear Matt's chewing of his chips and salsa. Oh wow. It's probably gonna finish at like exactly an hour. Fun. I should sing too. I know, it's so tempting not to start singing, humming. Oh, he should. Hell yeah. Nice. So the best, a really, what do you call it? Efficient way to do a figure is I'll have basically just same kind of thing, just have a reference, because what we're doing is it's going to be a silhouette. You don't need any details of the figure. You basically just need the outline as it would look like as a silhouette. So again, just use a reference, because we always think we know what bodies look like and then you don't. I don't want to show my reference because it'll be someone naked, so I drew it earlier. So I'm just gonna add it in. Voila. So what's cool too is if you can have like make one reference that you want to use in, let's say, multiple different pieces and multiple different canvases, and you can have it on its own, you know, separate things, like in Procreate. Like right here, I have it separately just sitting here, and you can copy and paste it and add it into things you're doing. So like this, it's just a black outline, but I want it to match now this other outline. So all you have to do is drag the color, and it'll make that whole outline that color, which is really, really cool. So especially if you draw, like, let's say characters or something, and you want the same one in lots of different lots of different pieces, you can easily, you know, have one basic version and then just add it and change it colors and stuff, which is really cool. Like this, and then use the same color as the foreground to fill her in. Little fingers. That's kind of cool. So maybe I want her flipped. Oh, maybe I want the other way. Oh. Alrighty. Kind of like that. What do we think? what's cool too, if you want to, because you're working in layers again, so let's say I like where she is on the tree. If I move those together, then I can move everything, which is cool again. So you can kind of refigure the, what is it called? Composition, which is cool. So like I kind of want this a little lower. So I'm gonna have her like that. Looks better to me. And then we're pretty much done with this guy.
Art therapy said keeping up with all of these tips from my UI test. IRL Solana. And then Kendall said beautiful.
Wait, keeping up with what, Solana?
Solanimals?
Oh, Solanimals, yeah. Yes. Hell yeah. Alright.
That's sick. Turtle said, wow, that looks great.
Thanks, guys. If you draw a landscape like this, send it to me. I would love to see it. That would be fun. And if you like this style of like video, kind of just showing like the breakdown, I could do something that I've already drawn, or I can like make, you know, something new. Or if you see something that's cool and you want to know how to draw it, send it to me and I might be able to kind of break it down a little better. Cute. That was fun. Yeah, I think I'm done. If anyone has any like last minute questions or anything, feel free to ask. But I think that was successful. I'm trying to think if I have any last tips. Oh, I guess I could just show you real quick. So if you did draw this and you want to change all the colors, so like I drew that one last time and then I just switched all the colors. And it can, oh, I didn't do the clouds. Okay, real quick, the clouds. Okay, so do the clouds. What's cool about this, again, opacity is the coolest thing. So if you want to draw, let's say, some cool like stuff like this, again, this just kind of adds more depth. I'm not going to have this on the top because it would be behind her and the tree, but just to draw it so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so like that, we'll put it behind the tree, and then to make it look, you know, like cloudy, just turn down the opacity, and it gives it that kind of cool looking vibe. That's pretty cool. Like that. Fun little thing. Adding those little things, like adding the glow in the sun, adding the little bit of clouds, like that makes it just way more dynamic and cool. So, yeah. Absolutely marvelous. All right. Well, thanks, guys. I am going to head off. If you want to keep talking, hit me up on Discord. And I really appreciate you guys